Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geekdom Movies. I don't know if you guys can see them, but we do have George and Rob in the back also.
Way in the back.
We decided to go see Indiana Jones and go off-roading because Shannon got a new Jeep.
I did. It's purple.
If you watched our intro, it was a little bumpy ride, but it was a lot of fun. Just doing all kinds of adventures and stuff with it, and just seeing how it works. But one of the things about the Jeep is there's something to do about ducks. Why don't you explain that for us?
So these are Jeep ducks. Rob got me these Jeep ducks. Tell me why you got these Jeep ducks.
Because you got ducked. Anytime you see another Jeep in the parking lot, you have to give somebody a duck.
Yes. So now I keep ducks in my truck, ducks in my car, and whenever I park next to another Jeep, they get a duck. So this is a Cinderella duck. Holding up the camera right now, there's a duck that sits on a little inner tube that somebody gave us when we were at the beach. And you're supposed to go by occasion, so you can do like a holiday duck or like we're at the movies right now. Rob got me this Back to the Future duck, which is just my favorite. It's very detailed.
Wow.
Very, very fun.
Well, it kind of goes along a lot with the Dial of Time, Indiana Jones.
It does.
Oh, Destiny of the Dial of
Spoiler.
Time. What is it called? No,
Dial
the title.
of-
The title of the movie.
Dial of Destiny?
Dial of Destiny?
I think so.
Like time.
Yeah.
Time. Okay, so Rob, how were you able to what was your reason to get the Jeep and find this deal for us?
Well, so I was at work one day and Shin called me and said that her car broke down. So I had to leave work, went to go rig up her car so that we could take it home.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for a new car for months because I was already tired of working on her previous car. And so I think it was just in God's hands to break the car down at that point in time because this one just became
Would you say
available.
it was the Dial of Destiny
It was-
for the Jeep?
Dialed right into that Destiny.
By the way, Rob is, I'm sure I've said this before, but if I haven't, fiance of Shannon's fiance. So it's a very normal thing for them to be figuring out finances of buying Jeeps because they're kind of serious, which is we're really happy about. And Rob, and the other reason I really like Rob and Shannon being in a relationship, not just because they're happy, but
Can't
I'm
wait to
happy
hear.
because we get one more person to do reviews with.
That's
them.
true.
Oh, yeah.
He was our
And-
perfect fourth person.
I know. All right, welcome back. We are enjoying our July 4th weekend. Lots of barbecuing, lots of birthdays, lots of hopefully fireworks. I don't know if we're going. You guys do anything for July 4th? If you're in America,
Tiki boats.
we celebrate July 4th with fireworks and the Independence Day.
Beer, and barbecuing.
Yep.
You know, I got the best ribs yesterday at a barbecue place. My
We'll leave
mouth
the
is
details in
melting. Yeah, I'm like, my mouth is melting just thinking about it. But hey, we're here. We're ready to go. Yeah, like
and
that.
John Williams.
And John Williams.
Yeah,
Oh
we
gosh,
got the
last
whole-
movie for John Williams, music wise.
Oh, yeah,
um,
he's gonna come back.
88. I don't know.
He is kind of old.
I mean, this is Harrison's last Indiana Jones movie. That is a fact.
Yeah. yeah.
I think he's done after. Well, he still wants to do dramatic and comedy stuff, but he's not going to be doing any action roles after this. He said. But yeah, okay. So, you know, I will say I am kind of obsessed with the Indiana Jones franchise. I think Indiana Jones was the first PG-13 movie I ever watched.
Oh yeah.
When I moved to America, my first G movie in theaters was Aladdin. My first
Oh,
PG
yeah.
movie was some guy comedy about going to Mars. I don't even remember.
I think mine was like National Treasure. First
National
like
Treasure?
first like adult grown up movie.
PG-13?
No,
Wait,
it's
like-
it's like PG. I think it's
National Treasure PG-13.
PG. Okay, yeah, then that was my first one. That would have been my first like.
But weren't you
adult-
older when National Treasure came out?
I was like 11, 12.
Is that movie that old?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
you're
Yeah.
old.
Oh my goodness.
You mean to say you weren't 13?
I don't think I was.
I was like high school, like 11th or 12th grade. So that makes sense because you're 4
I would have been in
years-
middle school. Yeah.
Okay, no, that does line up then.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indiana Jones was my first PG-13 movie. I think we just kind of bought it on DVD because it was on sale. Like, you know, you guys ever go to Blockbusters? Like, they have like used movies cases.
What's
And-
Blockbuster?
Right. Well, that also shows my age. Like if you were alive at the time when there was VHS renting and DVD renting, Either Blockbuster or Family Video. I can't remember. The Family Video is a Michigan-based company. I can't remember which one.
Mammoth Video.
Mammoth Video.
Yeah, I lived at Mammoth. We were always at Mammoth Video.
Really?
Yeah.
Blockbuster and Family Video for me. But
Wow.
you know, they used to have like $4.99 buy two or buy three DVDs.
Yeah.
Get the third one free for $4.99. I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was like maybe like 10 or 11 at the time. I can't even remember. Watched it and was so blown away by the opening of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I have seen Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, like, I kid you not, like 30 times in my life. I have rewatched it over and over, but I have watched the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark like 100+ times. Shoot,
With the boulder and the boulders following. Yeah, it's a
like
great.
the spider scenes where they're like, "Oh, get the spiders!"
Have you seen it UHF where Weird Al parodies that opening? It's so good.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's so good.
That's awesome. But yeah, I love this franchise. I even love Temple of Doom, India, my hometown, my home birth nation.
Oh yeah.
Loved the guy from Everything Everywhere All at Once. He was a kid in that movie. Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
I was really hoping he would pop up and make an appearance in this movie.
He was at the premiere.
I know, but I really wanted his character to make a cameo.
They did a picture with him, Harrison Ford, George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg at the premiere.
It was
really cool.
It was so cute at the Oscars when he ran up on stage and hugged.
Oh, Harrison Ford for his Oscar? Yeah, I remember
amazing.
that. That was awesome. Yeah, but I mean, really, I think my favorite, besides Raiders of the Lost Ark, is the third one with Sean Connery, The Last Crusade, the titles in the name. Oh my God, that's gotta
be my favorite.
It's up there.
Indiana Jones
The
movie.
Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Oh, with Sean Connery.
Dad, what? Dad, what? Dad, what?
Well, it's funny because Rob goes, "I'm getting James Bond vibes," and I'm like, "Well,
that was from one of the trailers. That wasn't from this.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Mission Impossible.
They made George Lucas' inspiration for Indiana Jones is James Bond. He wanted to do like an old school, like James Bond movie with history, because
like an action adventure movie.
Yeah, you got Nazis, you got spies, you got all CIA stuff, you got all kinds of crazy things happening. But when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, oh God, was I just like, oh God, this is really bad. This is just so bad.
That's the fourth one.
That's the fourth one with Shia LaBeouf. Count Your Blessings, because oh my God, did I hate that movie. I didn't hate it. No, I was pretty disappointed by it. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Shia LaBeouf jumping around with monkeys like Tarzan. There's so much about that movie. It's just so terrible.
I forgot about most of that.
Yeah, you should. It's like Will Smith should come from the Men in Black and wipe your memory of like ever seeing it. I wish I could have that happen. Now, over time, I have actually kind of come to love Kingdom of Crystal Skull, not because the movie is good, because I got obsessed with UFOs and aliens and Area 51 and all the NSA, CIA reports about they're saying like, yeah, we have things flying from other planets. I don't know what they do. So, like after me and George, I just talk about aliens so much. I don't want to open that door. But for that reason, I've come to really enjoy the last Kingdom of the Skull movie about aliens. But it's still not a good movie. Now, this movie is not as good as the first three. Still, again, The Last Crusade is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. I think it's a tie between. No, I like all three. Like the first three just. They're all great. Like, they're top 10 movies. Like three greatest movies ever made. 10-10, no holds bar. I love all three. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. If I had to give a score, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. While I'll give the first three Indiana Jones movie 10 out of 10. This movie, I would give about maybe 7, 8 out of 10. Like, not great, but good enough where the memories of the old Indiana Jones movie, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, is slowly being wiped away, and like I can breathe in easy air.
Skip that one; it never happened.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of just go to the third one and just skip to the fourth one, because honestly, Shia LaBeouf's character, spoiler alert, like I think he died. It doesn't matter. Who cares? We're over it. We're moving on. There's a cameo here that I can't talk about because the cameo is so great. I'm actually sad the cameo didn't last longer.
Same.
I'm not.
Well, all right. I wish he had more talking role, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get into it. I really like the actress who plays the goddaughter and the kid, the
great.
Egyptian kid.
Oh, loved them.
Their chemistry is pretty on point, and like it really gave me the old school like Indiana Jones vibe of there's this
We're going
girl
on an
and there's a
adventure.
boy and they have to solve some ancient mystery.
Mhm.
Uh,
She could hold her own in her own franchise.
in fact, I would say until she comes on the screen, I was kind of bored. That's how much
I would
she
agree.
lit up the screen.
Yeah.
I like the de-aging. There's a scene where I mean everybody's talking about the de-aging. It looks terrible. Like I don't.
Really? I thought it looked great.
No,
It
it looks
looked amazing.
No,
I thought it
looked- yeah.
It looked
Yeah,
like
I
a
thought it
video
was
game.
It
really
was
good.
better than Luke. In,
Well, that I'll give you, but
like it was way better than Luke's de-aging in
Luke?
the Mandalorian series.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I'm comparing it to. Because when you like that was the only other recent thing that Disney's done where they had to do like a significant amount of de-aging.
Mm.
And yeah,
that makes sense. I personally like it was jarring. There's that whole like uncanny valley that I just hate that uncanny valley look. It just looks artificial and weird, like it's trying to be human, but it's not. I don't like it until they master CGI like Avatar with like facial expressions. Just stop. That's just how I feel about it. Though the opening is still pretty fantastic. You got Harrison Ford back as Indy, younger, back in his 40s, beating up Nazis. That's really like that's the saving grace for the first 20 movies. Harrison Ford, some kind of relic, beating up Nazis.
Yes.
All for it. The rest of the movie like kind of slows down again. Like you feel kind of sad for him. He's like this old professor. It's in the trailer, so I'm not like he's retiring. He's old now, kind of living on his own. His life has kind of passed him by, and then something happens that I won't go into. He has a goddaughter, which you've seen her in the trailer. She's really good here.
Fantastic.
She's got that. She's got that spunk, that chemistry that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Every line she delivers lands.
Oh yeah, she's smart.
I was like, okay, this is good. It's missing something. Then a kid shows up, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, we're back. We're back. This is great. And there's it's a great fun summer movie. It's still not as good as the first Indiana Jones movie, but I can't honestly complain. I think those movies are classics. It's like saying, hey, let's remake Casablanca or Mr. Smith Goes to Washington or the original Star Wars. No, like the original Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, the original. No matter what we do or how we do it, there is a time capsule that can't be touched about those old school 1970s, 1980s movies that really can't be made today. They tried really hard to make you feel it, and there are times where I think the action, the Moroccan scene is absolutely fantastic.
That was great.
I love the rickshaws and the car chasing. I also like the American parade scene.
I'll talk about that later.
Okay. And the villain is really good. I love that actor. Every time he shows up, the villain guy, he was in Doctor Strange.
That's where I knew him from.
But a lot of other stuff. He's just been in so many. He was Hannibal Lecter in the TV show. That's where a James Bond villain. He's just such a good actor. I feel like he should step away from being a villain for a while and just maybe do a good character for a sec because I just really like him. But he's great. The villain's great. The story's great. There's a huge plot that they did not reveal for the last 30 minutes of this movie. My jaw dropped that they actually even did that. I was just like, what the crap, man?
I didn't think they were going to go there, but there was nowhere else they could go. We'll talk about it in spoilers.
Well, I thought they were going to go somewhere, just not where.
Okay.
But because I can't really say it because it's a spoiler.
Well, yeah.
Even if talking about it could be a spoiler. So the Nazis are trying to do something. There's a plot that's that needs to happen, but they mess up somehow.
So the plot thickens.
Plot thickens. Right. And it was fantastic. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, whoa. The ending is sweet. It has some core characters and an ending that really fits the franchise as a whole. I'm being very vague because I don't want to ruin it, but I enjoyed this movie. I think in time I probably enjoyed even more. Right now I would say not a great Indiana Jones adventure, but a good one. Shannon, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Yeah, I think that you just summed it up perfectly there. It's not the best of the Indiana Jones movies. Of course, it was never going to be, but it does feel like an Indiana Jones movie. Without going into spoilers, I think there was like maybe 2 points in this movie where they just took it a little bit too dark, and I was like, dude, this is Indiana Jones. Like, we're here to have fun and drive around in a Jeep and whip people. And
I got stuff to say. Sorry.
Oh,
George is just getting triggered.
I'm getting triggered so much right
He's
now.
getting fueled.
Oh my gosh.
You can cut in.
No,
makes it more interesting. But I think they went a little dark, but then they picked up the energy right back up. There's definitely spots where it's like, yeah, this is Indiana Jones, and it feels right, and it's fun. I agree with you about the first 20 minutes were not the best, but I did enjoy that it was all in German because I could at least work on my language skills.
Could you pick up with the talking a little bit?
A lot of it, yeah. Plus there were subtitles, but I understood a lot of it.
Yeah. That's really cool, actually. Wow.
Thank you. So that redeemed it for me. I don't think most audiences will care.
No, I think a lot of people will care the Nazis are back. I think when you think of Indiana Jones, you picture Indy punching Nazis.
Yeah, you
literally.
Want No, I think they'll love that he was punching Nazis. I don't think they'll be that thrilled that they have to watch it all in German. And read subtitles, because for some reason people hate subtitles. I love subtitles. But anyway.
That's changing now that anime is popular.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Japanese is like the number one language being learned on Duolingo right now because all the kids want to watch anime
in its original language. I don't even blame them.
I don't blame them either. But I think what you said about the Helena, the daughter-in-law, absolutely carried the film, and I think that if we retire Indy into the sunset, she could lead her own Indiana Jones.
I hope they don't.
Franchise.
Just it's fine. We got it. Give her something else to work with.
I liked her. I think she was really, really.
No, she is really good.
And,
no, hands down.
It would be kind of fun to see a female woman go on an adventure and discover things about archaeology, and
they've already done that. The new National Treasure series that was a flop.
Well,
okay.
Wait, National Treasure wasn't a flop?
No, the
new
National
series is.
The series.
They made a series?
They made a series where it's women leads.
Is Nicolas Cage in it?
No.
Then
why?
That's why it's a flop.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
let's not and say we did. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think if they want to continue with Indiana Jones, she and the kid, who I never caught his name, did you?
They probably sent the movie.
I never caught his name. Would have a pretty fun adventure.
Though how they met is really funny. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot. Their relationship reminded me a lot of Princess Amidala and Anakin.
Oh, okay.
When they're not
yeah, but
Anakin doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. If you're just missing a nostalgic Indiana Jones fan, I think you'll really enjoy this movie.
Rob, I'm throwing it over to you.
So as we talked about before, I haven't seen Indiana Jones before. With what I do know, I've seen some trailers of stuff at Disney World, which I've also have not been to, and I know it's very music based, and I think
it's like a musical.
Well, not necessarily that. A lot of the words that there's not words being said, but you can feel what should be the emotions and everything coming from the orchestra.
Okay.
And yeah. I feel like that's been the key theme of Indiana Jones, and this new movie captures that. With that being said, I wasn't really a fan of this.
I don't think you. I mean, again, I'm connecting dots with other characters and the history.
Right.
I can't imagine watching this without watching the first four.
No,
few of them.
I told him to try to watch the first three, but he didn't have time.
I was able to pick up what key points this character ties back to this something that happened before, but at the same time it was I don't really care to continue watching this movie. It was good to see once, but
yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
think,
give it a golden popcorn or anything.
Right, I think this movie was made for
fans.
Fixing the last one with Shia LaBeouf,
yes.
And kind of closing in a hey, we're gonna kind of play it safe, have fun, and give everyone their due. That's what this movie felt.
So it's like the Fast and Furious that came out after Tokyo Drift, trying to fix Tokyo Drift.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good example. Because Tokyo Drift was so off the rails, get it? Because cars and going off track. Yeah, I get what you're saying. This is more like a fixing of the... Yeah, it really does feel like, hey, we're playing it we're playing it safe. We're giving you one last fun adventure, and we're gonna hope that everyone can at least enjoy it. That's their end goal because everybody hated Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is again the more we don't talk about it, the better.
That being said, you would love the first movie.
The first one?
Oh,
no, you would love the first three.
The first three.
All
the whole
three
trilogy
are
is
great.
amazing.
I don't know about the second, but like at least the first and
India, you took a heart out of a dude's chest, hold it up.
That's something I wanted to talk about. You said the Indiana Jones movies are not dark. They are
actually.
So
you know
dark.
what? Wait,
dark.
hold on. So, Rob, would you say
They're
not
fun dark?
They're
No.
like meh. Like for you, it's meh. I'm guessing.
I saw it. I'm not ever
So
gonna
it's
see
meh.
it. I'm not ever gonna see it again.
I don't think
Got
I'll
it.
ever watch this
I didn't
again
even get to
either.
see a Jeep in this one.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, because in the first one, the Jeep chases the plane. Bunch of Jeeps actually chase a plane, but in this one, a motorcycle chases the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, a small
And
plane.
they're in their little rick-rack thing. Their
And
little
rickshaw.
rickshaw, yeah.
Yeah. George,
All right.
I'm throwing it
All
over
right,
to
I've
you.
got a lot of things to unpack on this one. So I want to start off with, what should I start off with? There's so much. So this didn't feel quite like one of the original Indiana Jones movies in the fact that most of those you could just walk in and just watch it and it was entertaining. You didn't need to see the previous ones. This one, you had to see the previous ones to get any idea of what was going on here because all of the characters they were using were from previous movies. Most of the characters, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of that, this didn't feel like a real Indiana Jones to me, but it was still a good movie. On that note, I did not notice as much thematic music being played in as loudly as normal in the previous Indiana Jones movies.
Bum, ba-dum, bum,
Exactly.
bum, ba-bum. You know,
That
I did
would
see.
always, that would always stick out in your head. In this movie,
This
I
kinda
didn't
lacks
notice the
it,
music
yeah.
once.
They did it a few
Which was
times.
They did it a
noticed
few
on the
times, but
train.
not. Yeah, the train, the Morocco scene, definitely the ending
They could
when
have done more.
with the planes and stuff.
Yeah.
But like they didn't add any like new thematic music to it. It really felt like this was John Williams just trying to get out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is understandable. He's 88.
It is, you know.
Yeah.
But at the
It
same
also
time,
feels
that
like Harrison
doesn't-
Ford is like trying to get
That's
out the
not
door.
gonna make me rate this movie well.
Well, yeah.
But there were a few other things that you know, I would have to say it didn't feel quite as normal Indiana Jones. Like the scene they made in, I don't remember what city that was. Was that New York?
Yeah.
That was New York. Okay. Like most of the Indiana Jones movies, there's always some kind of like cover up at the end of it that would make it so that, you know, you could understand in your world, not having heard about what happened with Indiana Jones. With what happened there, that was so big, they completely destroyed that parade. It would have made the news. They kind of made too big of a scene there with the parade, and so that would have made it so that it would have been obvious who Indiana Jones was, and that would make it so that he would have been someone people would know about, you know, if it was theoretically in our world, which they always tried to cover that up in the previous movies. They tried to have some kind of way of like hiding what happened at the end, so that way no one would know. You know what I mean? There were a few other things.
I just to go off what you're saying, the thing I didn't like about the parade scene, and it is in the trailers, guys. I thought it was going to be longer. Like I was really hoping there's going to be more of the parade where there's like action shots of like them fighting in the middle of a parade. That's what I imagined in my head, like when I saw that scene, and then when it didn't play out like that, I'm like, this would have been so much better with just like a longer action set piece throughout the parade.
That's a good point.
That's all I really you just reminded me of it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's like I'd have to say I was kind of skeptical. I liked the way it started with
The Nazis.
oh shoot, what I'm gonna be going into is spoilers.
Well, just kind of keep it vague. You liked where it was starting.
I
Okay.
liked where it was starting.
Mhm.
By the time they introduced that new character, she was a little too toxic for my liking, but I think that's probably normal since
Toxic?
Toxic.
Toxic
She
how?
was gaslighting. She was gaslighting.
Well, that's.
and
I mean,
that's
seen,
normal.
have you seen her Godfather and like her dad? I mean,
Yeah,
Well-
exactly.
Kinda,
It makes
kinda.
sense. It makes sense, especially since she was really smart that she would be gaslighting people.
yeah, like
'Cause
her whole
that's
thing
normally how it
is.
happens.
Well, how else would you in that world think about it? How else would you like get men to listen to you and take you seriously.
Yeah.
Like it
Mm.
kind of makes sense. Like she had to play that character to the point where she had to go around manipulating every man she ran into, or else like nobody's gonna give her a chance. She has to have something that gives her a chance for them to take seriously. And looks is not enough when you're doing like huge like ancient artifacts and technology and smarts. That's not what a man is looking for in that time. They're just looking to see if you're just a hot piece of meat that they can talk to and hook up with, right? So it's like her smarts only counts when she's talking to Harrison Ford's character or somebody like him. But when she's talking to everybody else, I feel like it's manipulation and gaslighting. I don't know if that makes sense.
She did that to Harrison Ford.
Well, I would too. I mean, he wasn't listening.
So,
let's be honest.
Well, for good reasons.
Well, yeah, but she was right, and she
no,
wasn't.
She wasn't right.
Yeah, she was.
Wasn't right at all. No.
Shh.
No,
Harrison...
she stole the thing from him
Mm-hmm.
to go and find it to go sell it.
Yeah, that's true.
She wasn't
honestly
trying to sell it.
She was trying to sell it.
No.
She basically
Harrison Ford called that out later in the movie.
all of the characters that Harrison Ford has been up against.
No.
Honestly, she was a villain. She started off as a villain in this movie.
I'd have to watch it again, but
you do need to watch it again.
I think she was lying to make her dad proud because her dad was obsessed. Her
dad was dead.
No, you're not understanding. Like Harrison Ford's character was like, why would you steal this and learn everything about this to sell it? It makes zero sense.
Yeah, you're right.
She was never trying to sell it, not once.
She had all like the codes memorized and everything. Yeah,
she did a whole history thing trying to make her...
memorized all of her 7
She did
journals.
She did it to prove her dad right.
Yeah,
she was never doing it to sell it. She would have never sold that thing.
Yeah.
She got pretty close.
Well, she might have had that moment, but really she was doing it for her dad and proving him right. That's what the movie from the beginning with the train scene showed.
I'll just say I didn't like how her character started out. At the point past what was that city where she was doing the auction?
Morocco.
Marrakesh?
I thought it began with a
No.
T.
If you
it
remember,
began with a T.
Tibet?
It's like
Trinidad?
No.
It's Morocco. It's a desert.
It's
the
not
desert
Morocco.
place where the rickshaws were.
But it's not
Casablanca.
Morocco.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Anyways, whatever that city was.
Yes.
That's where her character actually started to be really good, in my opinion.
Right.
That's
and she
why I
was
really
never
liked her
selling it.
character.
If you saw what she was doing, she was gonna steal her money,
swap it,
swap it, keep the money, and then go where she needs to go next, which is exactly classic Indiana Jones. That's what characters did in Indiana Jones movie. That's why I like her so much. She's playing that character bait switch. That Sean Connery did it with his dad and like trying to find the Ark of the Covenant was Raiders of the Lost Ark. What was the third one?
Trying to find the what was that? The Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. Like every character does that bait and switch in Indiana Jones movie. Even Kingdom of Crystal Skull, Shia LaBeouf does that too, if you remember, because Shia LaBeouf is mentored by that old guy who lost his mind, and he kind of follows him around, and like you think he's just doing it being this tough kid who's like, just trying to, but he's really doing it to save his godfather, which was Indy's best friend or whatever, right?
I can't remember.
Okay, I rewatched it recently.
I haven't watched the Crystal Skull in probably like 5-6 years.
That's
I haven't seen Indiana Jones since I was a kid. It's been years.
I recently rewatched the first two. But
I watched the Sean Connery one in Kingdom Skull recently because aliens.
Honestly, the Holy Grail, that one's
that's classic.
Last Crusade is so good. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Another thing I didn't like was the rickshaw chase, simply because of the fact they were going at least twice the speed of those vehicles. You could literally see how the cameras were sped up. They were sped up. Like, even the actions of the donkey was sped up in that chase scene.
We're talking about a time travel movie here.
We are. This is
I don't
not
care
right.
about that. Sure,
So,
whatever. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not.
It was such a bad.
I'm guessing it bothers
scene.
you. I really don't care.
It was such a bad chase scene because those rickshaws were going like twice the speed
too?
what they're what they're possible.
Yeah,
of
that's
doing.
true. Because in Pakistan, rickshaws go like 30 miles per hour.
Exactly.
So you're right.
They were going
Yeah,
like
they're not-
50 in this
They're
movie, and
usually,
that did
like,
not make any
pedaled
sense.
by somebody on a bicycle, right?
No,
No,
it's
no,
engine.
no.
Engine.
Rickshaws do have
Rickshaws
engines.
are motorcycles with like a container on top of
Yeah.
them.
They're like three-wheeled,
They're like-
motorcycles,
They're
pretty
like
much.
mopeds with like little containers on top.
What's it
Yeah.
called when they
remember.
bicycle
I don't know,
around?
but I haven't seen those. Those haven't been around Asia in like
Oh,
hundreds
they're
of
just
years.
in the movies.
I don't know.
I think
why they're-
mostly.
Yeah, I'm like
I
nobody would
thought
do
they
this.
did have some in
This is
China.
the Flintstones
but,
where
like,
you like
I thought they did have some in China, but like I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah,
But I know they have them. I know they had that in the second movie.
Yeah.
And when he was in China, they had that where it was the guy who was pedaling,
Mm.
and he's like, "Go faster!" And the guy's over there like sweating.
He's like, I can't.
yeah,
Do you
All right, we
think
gotta-
but
Do you think they speed it up just to make it more interesting and like
They
thrilling?
definitely
'Cause
did.
since they
I don't blame
since
them.
they
I mean,
go
Definitely
so
did.
slow,
it would have been so
feel
boring if they
to
hadn't.
listen.
Yeah,
it would have. Yeah, but I don't know if you noticed at the very end of that when they were just going along right before it broke down. That's the actual speed of a rickshaw right there.
Okay.
Was
when they
like
broke down.
right
Yeah.
before they broke down. That was the regular speed of a rickshaw.
Okay.
So
Okay, so you would say not as good as the original Indiana
Oh,
Jones.
by no means,
But
it
it
was still
was-
a good movie.
It's
I
a good
really,
movie. Yeah.
I really there were certain parts of it that I still really liked. And
Yeah.
I did like that her character took a turn, and you were able to see that.
Mhm,
And-
mhm.
Like that. Thank goodness, because I was.
You were like
not
hating this woman.
I was really hating the movie at the very start because of that, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my goodness, please no!" But it took a very good turn,
I-
and I'm
I-
so happy with the ending.
I do understand why she did it. He's an old man. She's being chased by like Nazis and like all these like people trying to kill.
That's no reason.
No, I know, but
But-
at least it gives a reason. Just give me a reason where I can be like,
Where you
I don't
can
know-
justify her actions, I don't need that.
no, I'm just saying like some movies don't even give you reason; they just do it. At least here, like Fast and Furious never explains anything, like why nobody's dead, and when they do
'Cause
try to
it's
explain
family.
it, exactly.
Family.
That's
I mean, the
family.
superpowers family, right? Like,
Mhm.
if you compare Fast and Furious to Indiana Jones, at least they gave her a reason as to why she was doing what she was doing.
There was also one other thing though I wanted to state about like the dark aspect of it. So even though there were very dark scenes in this, they were regular throughout the other Indiana Jones movies. I would have to say the second Indiana Jones movie, the Temple of Doom, that one had so
Way
many.
darker.
It was way darker. It
Yeah,
had
but,
so many
like,
dark
scary
scenes.
dark, not like
Oh
sad dark.
no.
Not
It
like
was
depressing,
sad
my
dark.
son
Like,
died
there
and I'm
were
gonna
people-
cry about it.
There was
on a
someone who was
boat.
hung on a ceiling fan.
Yeah, but
There
that's,
was someone
that's like,
who was crushed
No,
by
Temple
a
of
rock
Doom
tumbler.
was the reason we got the R rating. All right, guys, we're gonna go into our spoiler review. Poor Rob had to sit through a movie that he's never watched in the previous, but we all enjoyed it in different parts. We all find value in the movie. It's not a great Indiana Jones movie, but it was definitely good. So if you've seen the movie and you want to stick around, this is our spoiler discussion of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. All right, so Shannon, you mentioned something very interesting, which was like you were sad about the son issue. One, Shia LaBeouf is an asshole, and we
wait,
know that.
okay, wait, hold on. So I didn't even see the Shia LaBeouf one. Was Shia LaBeouf his son?
Yes.
And his son died and enlisted in the war, and
And
okay.
that's what they gave him. But the real
didn't.
reason he's not in this movie is because after the Kingdom of Crystal Skull came out, he just basically went on tirade and like disrespected Harrison Ford, George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg by saying like they've lost their
What?
touch. I don't want to be in this movie. I could have made a better movie without and saying basically like now I'm not saying Shia LaBeouf doesn't have a reason to be upset, but when there's thousands of people, including like Steven Spielberg, working on the movie and you get to be in it,
Mhm.
give them the time of day to say, hey, like these people put me in their movie and it didn't work,
Absolutely.
but they worked their butt off to a movie that didn't work. Like that's why
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is always saying, even though like I love Tom Hanks for this reason. He says even the worst movie of watch, people had to like tirelessly work overnight, get those special effects, get those sets, working 12, 15 hours a day to get the movie to work. So even if it's a bad movie, like people in Hollywood should not bash it. And Shia LaBeouf broke one of the Hollywood rule. You never, ever, ever go against the product, especially of a movie that you worked on with the people, thousands of people who worked on it. And I think that is the biggest reason why they killed off his character. Not because That's just my opinion on the matter. But at the same time, I do think that added a lot of weight to his character. Here's this old man at the end of his life asking, "Do I matter? It'd be better for me to stay back in time." Right? Like that's really like that's what Indiana's going through. When you watch the original 3 Indiana Jones movies, he is at the top of his game. He's young. He can like go from place to place and like do the mystery and also beat up like 100 guys. He's super good looking. Like he's the top of his game. He is the man. And then when you see him in this movie, with what's happening with his also age in real life, it kind of has this weird, he's not the big movie star anymore. Not women aren't trying to, probably in the 70s and 80s, I'm sure people were going crazy for Harrison Ford, but now he's way older. You got to see him in that chair. You're like, wow, he got old, like you said. Like he's at that. I don't think that's a sad thing. I think that's a sad reality that should be added emphasis on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But do you think part of that was also tied in when he was doing the professor stuff at the?
Oh, 100%.
Like the students were not paying attention to him. They
No,
were
not at all.
Not responding. And
Right.
Which-
like that.
In the first movie, he's super popular and all the girls have a crush on him.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
love him being the professor.
Right.
So
Because
He's
he's
super
crushing
good
it.
looking. He's
yeah,
young.
he's young, he's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like what the part that you missed was he's like the best professor ever in the first movie.
okay.
And
Well, he's
now
still the best professor ever in this movie. Just
nobody
listening.
cares.
Because
yeah.
he's old and not hot and like young anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But honestly, it's
So
sad. But
They're
it
saying
also.
that his good looks was the only reason why he was a good professor.
I wouldn't
no,
go that far.
I don't know where you got that from.
I would say he was always a good professor, but the kids cared. Now they
Because
just
of his
don't.
looks previous.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
care about
They
his
cared about
teaching. They cared about him
Yeah.
being like.
And all they care about is space and going to the moon. Like the movie makes out, like nobody cares about archaeology or what happened in the past. They're
Mm.
focusing on sci-fi because at that time, we were literally landing on the moon,
Which
We're
was
filming.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, which was pretty awesome. But I love the. I mean, I can't get enough how good the last 30 minutes of this movie is. I can't believe they did that. Like I was like, my jaw dropped. Like just seeing like those Roman ships.
It
Are
was
we in the
really
spoilers?
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going full spoiler
Oh,
now.
thank goodness.
Was not expecting Archimedes to be in this movie.
It was awesome.
It was
That
really
was-
cool.
When they mentioned, okay, my one disappointment is not a disappointment that anything to do with the movie. They just mentioned it, so I was really hoping I got to see it. And I'm obsessed with the Library of Alexandria that got burned down.
I
God!
was so,
I know,
wanted
I
to
had
see
to
that.
see it.
I wanted to see that
I
so
wanted
my
to
badly.
see
God.
it too.
I am-
I'm
I'm
so
like,
mad.
I don't care if that's not the destination where you're gonna find the thing. Go there.
Go
please,
there anyway.
please.
Just go steal a couple scrolls. You
Yes.
know, I want
Do
to
something
see
with
that.
it. Like,
yeah.
do you know, Rob? Do you know anything about the Library of Alexandria, the Great Library?
No.
Okay, so
Really?
this library had literally
Everything.
literally had the location of probably Atlantis, what the pyramids were used for, and how they used it with
Yeah.
all the energy building things
Time
that
travel,
were
probably.
who knows what, and like
Everything.
it got
It was-
burned down. All those books,
Mhm.
all that history,
The knowledge.
like
It was like the internet. It was like losing all of the information on the internet.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was so bad that they said like the Library of Alexandria burning down literally destroyed 80% of our history. That's how
It's
much in
so much.
Yeah.
yeah. So when they mentioned it, I was like, oh, they're gonna save the fires from the Alexandria. I don't
Can
know.
you
That's what my
imagine?
And
head
that's why we had the medieval ages, because nobody knew anything at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
you're not wrong.
They had to restart.
They pretty
Asia
much
knew. They're
did.
like,
was-
we didn't burn down our history.
It was really the Dark Ages.
It
really
really
was.
was the Dark Age. They had to relearn
Mhm.
everything. But man, like yeah, the last 30 minutes, like, and then they, like you're saying, I thought it was Nostradamus because remember Nostradamus did all those prophecies about 9/11 and like World
Yeah,
War.
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't remember, but he had all these
I know
prophecies.
you said that, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be
Well,
Archimedes,
it literally
who we've been
looks
talking
like-
about for the last
It
3
looks
hours.
like his bell tower where he built all the mechanics and the first airplane.
I mean,
and,
he
like,
was cool too. So was Da Vinci. Like, there was a lot of different people.
Oh,
they
Da
could've
Vinci.
used.
Maybe I'm
Are
mixing
you
Nostradamus
thinking
with Da
of Da
Vinci.
Da
Yeah,
Vinci,
never
Da
mind.
Vinci
He
knew,
was a
like,
different-
airplanes and stuff, but he didn't predict things.
Nostradamus did though.
Nostradamus, I think he did.
Yeah, like he predicted like the Great War, the two towers falling down at the time of like giant birds, like 9/11 and stuff. There's a lot of things that Nostradamus surprisingly got right. Which
Hey,
is
if
kinda
I
freaky
predict a bunch of stuff right now and wait 2,000 years, a bunch of it'll probably happen.
if they write it down and actually read about
We're
it.
going to Jupiter.
So if you're from the future and you're watching our YouTube channel
I
from the year
predicted it.
3000,
We did
Shannon
go to
predicted
Jupiter,
it.
and I knew
Find
it.
that time fisher for us.
There's
Bring
also
us
going to
there.
be a war. There's going to be death. There's going to be a flood.
Sickness,
Will
Yeah.
there be a blockbuster?
a flood.
A plague.
Hey, Blockbuster's coming back. Two Shop just opened up in LA.
See?
See?
I
There you
predict
go.
the future.
But I don't think it's for the reasons that we think. I think they just do it for nostalgia's sakes. But everything is nostalgia now. What
This
else?
movie was honestly about nostalgia.
I mean, it
Yeah,
really
that's
was.
basically
Like,
it.
it was all about nostalgia. And I'm so glad Gimli is back in this movie. He's so great. He plays Gimli in Lord of the Rings.
That was who played Baz?
Hmm
Oh, I knew he looked familiar. He was so good in this.
He's always. I mean, he's good in the first three too. Also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good to see him.
All right. Why would you bring Antonio Banderas in this movie and not even use him? Like, what was the?
I know.
When
It
did
was
that
so good
cameo?
to see him, and then he didn't.
Especially after
do
Puss in Boots,
anything.
I was like, "Oh my God, it's Antonio Banderas!" It makes
You
total
were-
sense why he's dead now.
You were
And-
screaming in the theater, and everyone was like, yeah.
Well, it's
I
Antonio
know.
Banderas.
He was like, Puss in Boots! It's Puss in Boots!
I was so excited, and then like 5 minutes later, he's shot dead for
I
no reason.
know. He could have really had a good, fun adventure.
What did you think of that,
With
George? You
Indy.
love Puss in Boots.
Because he's a
so-
Steven
I
Spielberg
do.
guy, too.
I do, but I think it was I think it was part of their aspect of trying to make sure it wasn't a movie that wasn't dark enough. If that makes sense. No, hear
Okay,
me out
I-
on
I-
this. Hear me
yeah.
out on this. A lot of this, you have to remember, this was a Disney film,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is a shocker. Like that in and of itself, Indiana Jones being a
They've
Disney film
owned
is a
it for
shocker.
a while.
No,
Obvious-
no.
They haven't
Yeah.
owned Indiana Jones for the last movie that was
George
done.
Lucas sold when
This
he
is
sold
the first-
Lucasfilm, which was 2014, 2015.
That's
no,
about when
that's when
they took
that's
it
when
over.
they took it over.
Because
So
you
I
had
haven't-
that Indiana Jones like theme part of the
No,
Hollywood
I know.
Studios.
Yeah, that's great
Since,
and all,
like,
but they hadn't done a
2012.
movie until this movie. This was their first.
Right? No, they hadn't done
This
a movie
is the
yet.
first Indiana Jones Disney movie.
Right? Yeah.
So he's now a Disney prince. Anyways,
I mean, you're not wrong.
So-
Right next to Aladdin.
yeah.
they just have like wax sculptures of Indiana Jones.
You're saying
somewhere.
like they couldn't make
Um,
it more Puss in Boots, like him
they-
that being that swashbuckling.
They couldn't. They specifically did quite a few things that were dark in this movie, just so that it would follow the previous path of the Indiana Jones movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the. I mean, there were a lot of people that were shot. There were
There's a lot of blood.
a lot of
death.
blood. There was a lot of
Fires.
stuff going on
Hangings.
that was really dark. The guy getting
Right.
chained underwater. Like, I mean, like,
Oh
the-
yeah, I
it's
forgot
some-
about
got
that.
the
there's
gun
some-
on the back of the train. That was pretty violent.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? That guy dying with the kid doing the chain thing. Oh, that was
That was-
awesome.
that was pretty
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
that
That's-
was awesome.
For a kid
I
that,
was-
for a kid that can't swim, he swam pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
what I said. I was like, yeah, no, you were a trained swimmer. You had
Push
Push
Yeah.
in, push out.
Push.
Is
Yeah,
that what you said
I
on
was
top of
like,
the
I was like, I didn't get it the first time, but then the second time, I'm like, oh, I get it now.
You do not
Actually,
learn how to swim by accident in like 1 hour. Just so you know, if your kid falls in the water and they don't know how to swim, they're not going to learn how to swim that quickly. Don't do it.
Unless you're in an Indiana Jones movie, then,
Then it
you're a
might
kid,
work.
and
Then
you
it might
always
work.
survive.
In
Yeah.
fantasy.
You get
So-
annoyed by the rickshaw speeds. I get annoyed by the swimming skills speeds.
That was one of the things that kind of irked me a little
Yeah.
because just not realistic. But
A part of me wishes, like, and I don't like the ending. It's weird, but I think he should have stayed in the past. I agree with them. It's like, my
I
son's
think-
dead. I'm divorced.
here's
My
the
friends
thing.
are gone. My dad's gone.
He
I'm not
didn't
a-
believe the reason why he came back to the present was he did not believe that there was anybody in the present waiting for him. Anyone in the present
but-
that cared about him, which I think is a reasonable thought for someone of that age. You know, I mean, it's hard to be like, you know, wow, my kids are all grown up and moved on, or in his case, you know, his only kid died, his wife didn't want to see him anymore. He thought he was free of life's burdens and he wanted to just stay with Archimedes because
I
I mean,
almost kind of
to-
wanted him to stay.
to be
Yeah.
fair, I would have wanted to stay.
Dude, I was
I
like,
know,
this
right?
is
Like,
this
that was
literally
awesome.
is the best ending for Indiana Jones.
I
He
know.
That was.
literally
It
gets to
was.
live
That
history.
was, but I do have to admit, I really do prefer the ending that they had on it.
Okay.
I
Because
understand, but in my
It
head,
would have been awesome.
yeah.
But like she
Well,
mentioned, it would have messed up time, and he's like, "What's wrong with that?"
There's an easy fix though. They still have the dial. They still have a kid who knows how to fly airplanes. They can still time travel.
Hopefully,
he
they
can
make
go
a series
back.
of that.
That's what
Um,
I'd love. Yeah, I'd love to see that series.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought I'd like to see the National Treasure series too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We all-
I didn't even watch it, so I have
Uh,
no idea. I,
I
think
didn't
you guys
either.
just-
I didn't.
you
either.
guys
It
are
was-
saving me. By the way, American Born Chinese. Nobody's watched it. Go watch it.
Oh,
Everyone
that's
from
good.
Everything Everywhere. Michelle Yao. What's his name?
That
The-
looks so good.
The
Oh,
Indiana
dude,
Jones
no,
one.
it's not
Saw
good.
the
It's not good.
trailer, and
It's not good.
Phenomenal.
Me and Stephanie are watching this. Is like Disney doesn't know how to make shit. Okay, like I'm sorry, but they play safe. American Born Chinese should be on HBO or like
It's that good.
Stranger Things level on Netflix. It is so good.
Okay.
Like the director is the guy who wrote and directed Shang-Chi, and if you love Shang-Chi and like
yeah.
dragons,
Oh, yeah.
if you like Asian anime culture, so many anime references, George.
Oh, I bet.
So many fantasy
That's gonna be
anime.
awesome.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Definitely watch American Born Chinese. If there's one show you could watch anything on Disney Plus, it is that show.
Okay.
And if you liked
So-
Everything Everywhere All at Once, you'll probably love it.
So I want to get back to this Indiana Jones.
Mhm.
So I would have to say one of the other interesting aspects of it was, I don't know if you've noticed, but like Disney doesn't really try to show much in regards to religion, right?
Yeah, they
Yes,
pretty
they
much
do.
keep out of it.
Literally, the blood of Christ. They were trying to find
That's what
The
I'm
cup
saying.
of Christ.
That's what I'm saying. This is much
No,
different.
Covenant.
This is Disney. This is
Mhm.
Disney
But it's
doing
still.
this.
But
no.
no.
This was not done by George Lucas.
the-
This was not done by Steven Spielberg. This was Disney.
Yeah.
This is a very huge advancement for Disney to actually go that far, bring out aspects of
you're
religion in a film.
Well, they
That's
really
done by
didn't
them.
if you think about it. It's all math and physics.
Well, no, they had
No,
the,
but they
the
still
sword
they had the
Which was a
the
fake.
lance from
Which was a fake.
from the
yes.
Garden of Gethsemane
Which was a
not
fake.
not the Garden of.
when he cuts
Oh my gosh,
Jesus on the
Fahads,
ear.
stop for a second,
It's
please.
a
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
Okay, go ahead.
But
sorry.
then they showed a procession that was going on in Sicily, that is a
What
thing.
was that?
It was a Catholic procession because Sicily is very
Okay.
Catholic. Italy in and of
Yeah,
itself is very
Italy's
Catholic.
yeah, that's where the Pope
So that
lives.
was a Catholic
No, what is
procession.
it? What is I don't know what that is. I'm not
procession.
Catholic.
Like they
Like
were
a
going through the
parade.
streets, sort of like it's like a religious parade kind of thing.
For Christ?
Yeah.
Like when
Catholic.
It
yeah.
was a Catholic
It's like
thing.
a ceremony.
It is that particular thing they were showing is a Catholic thing that they do in
Huh.
Italy.
So they
So-
just like walk like how Jesus walked to the cross.
No. Like there was,
No,
it's like more so like venerating,
Oh,
like
okay.
throughout the streets and stuff.
Okay,
It's
it's weird, but okay.
it's
I don't get it
It's like
even
the March
now.
on
but
Washington or something.
it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
something
and a
Italy
religious
and
thing.
Catholics do. Okay.
So, but I thought that was very interesting that something that Disney produced would actually show that, because
Yeah.
in the past they have very much tried to separate themselves from any extremely religious kinds of things in it. So them taking on Indiana Jones,
Mhm.
that in and of itself was a huge step for them, and a completely new thing for them to make this movie, to make a movie that was this dark. Like it was kind of phenomenal that this was Disney. It was very amazing.
It was dark for
It
Disney.
impressed me.
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much.
Really?
impressed me. Yeah,
Wow.
It took risks.
absolutely.
No, I mean,
And
like I
that's something-
said,
that's
I like.
something Disney doesn't do.
They
Right,
do
Disney
not,
like-
they
doesn't
do
take
not
risks.
take risks.
They took some huge risks with this.
No,
film,
that's what
so
I'm-
I respect them for that.
Like that's the thing I really liked about this movie was like I was like amazed how much I was just really enjoying the film aspects of like all the things they were setting up and the places they were going. It really did feel, it's a weird thing to say, but it felt completely like an indie movie, like Indiana Jones movie,
Oh yeah.
with all the historical aspects of like what they're trying to do. I just find the villain's plan so funny, where Indy's just like, you realize they didn't figure that one thing out. That means you have no
Continental
idea.
Drift, yeah.
What is that? I don't actually know.
I don't
That's
remember.
it's when the continents drift apart. So like if Archimedes was on this in Rome or whatever, and then the continent has 2,000 years where it's floating on the ocean. It moves
But what does that have to do with time?
because over time.
Because they needed the specific longitude and latitudes.
But
the
but they-
longitudes and latitudes are,
yeah, but then you just
no longer over the same area.
right, so
Right,
they
yeah.
went. So nobody then Archimedes did know it because he figured out 2,000 years from now where he was sending and asking for help from the
Well,
future.
The other funny aspect of it is that longitude and latitude is based off of Greenwich, England. So none
Oh.
of this would have been.
Oh yeah, there was no longitude and
there was
latitude.
no longitude and latitude at that
Yeah,
point in
that's a
time.
good
This would have been
point.
something that would have had to have been based off star charts.
But if Archimedes traveled forward in time, then he would know about it.
Yeah, but he didn't do that.
I think he did.
So the person that picked up Harrison Ford and took him to the airport and said he also
yeah.
brought his passport. Who is he? Is he?
He's
in
from the
other-
first movie.
He's his
from
buddy.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. He
He's
was
taxi
the
driver.
No, he wasn't a taxi
He's
driver.
the guy
He
that's
was a
like
taxi driver
English.
in this
Does
one.
anybody speak English? That guy?
I don't remember.
I think so.
But he was his friend that was in he was his friend that was helping him to locate and get the Lost Ark
Yeah.
in the first movie.
And like drives him everywhere and like yeah.
Because I was getting feelings that he was also possibly a time traveler.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Why did you say that?
Oh, I just got that vibe. Just kind of like
Like he knew more than he let on.
Well, he did.
yeah.
Technically, you're not wrong. He definitely figured out a lot of stuff that he shouldn't
he
shouldn't
thought-
have known, you know.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
He was just basically a friend of Indiana Jones, and
Yeah.
he had been on other adventures with Indiana Jones.
Wait,
and
who are
because
we
of
talking
that-
about? Are you
we're
talking about
talking
Archimedes?
You're thinking of the wrong person.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
thinking of Archimedes. I'm like, that
No.
guy knows way too much for the
No,
technology.
the guy
of that
who,
time.
The guy
The
who
guy
got
from
in
the
the
first
taxi
movie.
with him. That
Oh,
was,
Gimli.
that was
the
the
little
guy.
Gimli.
Moroccan
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the hat. The little
Yeah.
red hat with the
Yeah,
tassel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, him. Yeah. He was just somebody that just went on helping Indy like open doors and make connections throughout the world to get whatever artifact
Oh,
or
we gotta,
mystery
we
solved.
gotta have you watch the first movie, Rob.
I would say
Killing
the
me.
first and
Honestly,
third movies are definitely worth
You can
watching.
skip Temple of Doom. I just like it
Yeah.
because it's India and there's a witch doctor that Indiana
Oh, yeah.
Indiana Jones has to kill. And
If
if
you
you know,
want to get
if you
freaked
grew up-
out, watch it. But
I love a Temple of Doom because witch doctors in India are no joke. Like my family grew up with witch doctors. They would put curses and spells on people. And yeah, I'm not saying like voodoo or any of that stuff is real, but it's real enough where it freaked me and my family out, and we didn't want to be anywhere near those guys because they were sacrificing all kinds of animals and doing all kinds of horrible things that I don't want to think about to like do those voodoo spells, witch doctor crap in India and Pakistan. So for me, that movie was like, whoa, I can't believe I'm watching something that happens in India and Pakistan in like a big Hollywood Indiana Jones movie. It makes it my favorite. Like one of my favorite. I mean, all three. I just love all
Oh,
three.
they're perfect movies.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really are. It's like now maybe at the time when people were like, "Oh, Back to the Future 3 is the worst." Me watching it
I
as a
love
older, I'm
Back
like,
to the Future 3.
"Are you kidding? Back to the Future Part 3 is my favorite."
I love
really
Doc
good.
Brown.
It's
The
like-
future is not yet written, so make it a good one. How could you not love that?
I
How
love
could
the
you not love
Western
that?
tracks,
Come
like
on.
with the train he
I
made.
know
That was
where we're
hilarious.
going.
It was like-
we don't need roads.
Yeah, well, that's
the train just lifts off.
And they're,
I think my least
skateboarding on top of a train.
actually my
Like,
least
come
favorite
on.
is the second one. I love the first
I
Back
love
to
all
the
of them.
Future.
They're all
We should
great,
do like a
great.
Back to the Future like review at some point. But
Yeah, that
I
be
would
great.
say my favorite is the third one, which everybody would be like, "What's wrong with you?" But
I know,
don't
but
care.
I love the.
I
third
love
one.
the third one.
I don't think
And
we have
then-
enough time for Shannon to review all three.
Oh.
You might
I
have a
mean,
point.
I'll
I
be
can
honest.
review
If
'em right now. I know 'em by heart.
I tortured Shannon watching all three Lord of the Rings movies
Yeah, that
with us.
that was awful.
You liked the first one, I think, first and second, but you hated the last one.
one. They're so long.
I stopped after the first
They're
one.
so long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really long. But,
I like them, but
but-
just way too long.
but I
love
appreciate.
fantasy, so like it was.
Oh,
so,
you
it
were
was
like
so
all about
good.
Lord of the
It
Rings,
was
yeah.
so
I want
good.
the Shannon cut, which is only
Just
Sam
the
and
hobbits,
Frodo and
yeah.
nobody else.
Remember by Disney
Nope,
Plus.
so, but Sam's not gay because
Goodness.
he gets married at the end of the last
You're right.
movie.
Well,
He has a
you
little
know,
girl hobbit at
after
the
a
end.
lot of-
we don't
Doesn't
find
mean-
out, but later on he comes out of the closet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean he's straight.
No, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that. Shannon's taking a lot of bullets for us. And surprisingly, a lot of movies, I'm like, Shannon's not going to like this. She actually ended up liking it more than me. Like, Flash, I thought was good.
I loved it.
You love
Flash
Flash.
was so
Flash
great.
was really good.
It was.
I
I
mean,
should have watched that. I watched the whole Netflix series on that. On
oh,
Flash.
Yeah,
I'll
you
watch
missed a
the
good
movie.
one.
yeah, the
It's
movie,
so
I
good.
have watched only the 4 seasons of Flash. I think I stopped at when the Reverse Flash became a good guy. I don't know what season that is. But that's
it wasn't
about...
longer interesting anymore.
Yeah, then I was just like,
It does
eh.
take a downside, but I still watched it because
Yeah.
I was like, I'm invested at this point.
Yeah.
I was
You'll
gonna
like
watch.
it.
I was like, okay, this is the last season. I'm gonna watch the last season, and then everybody told me the last episode is so horrendously bad. They're like, this is the worst episode of The Flash, like the last episode. I'm like, oh, I am not watching the last season of Flash. Then that really ruins it. Because how do you mess up the last episode of The Flash? Like, I don't even understand how they did. I don't know what happens. I just know that all of my friends like trashed the last episode of The Flash.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think I made it to the last one.
Oh, good. Because people are like, it ruins the series for them. So I'm just gonna stick to the first 4 season. I think I stopped watching when the wheelchair guy left. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, he was my favorite character out of everybody. He played so many different roles, and it was always fun to watch him see like who he was gonna become the next season.
So he doesn't actually leave. He just. I don't want to spoil it for you if you do watch it, but he just
Yeah, you could spoil it. It's fine.
he loses the wheelchair and he actually can walk.
No. Every season he was like always playing a different version
Yeah.
of a character. It was the same actor, but I think in the third one he's like a German physician or something, and the last one he's like Gandalf, or like they give him like all these roles where he's like connecting with all of his like versions of himself, so they can all solve something.
Different universe.
Yeah.
He comes in from a different universe.
So wait, he stays on in the show? Somebody
Yeah.
told me he left. I was like, oh, if he leaves, then I have no reason to watch this. I really like the guy who plays Flash too, the actor. I thought Grant Gustin. Is that his name, Grant Gustin? Did I say it
I
right?
don't remember. I don't know his name, but
He was really good.
to me, I think he starts off good, and then at the end, it comes too much. Just,
Like I said, I think there's a reason I stopped
Yeah.
at the 4th season.
yeah, like he was really good. Like you can tell he's into it, but at the end, you can tell it's kind of rehearsed.
Yeah, Ezra Miller
Amazing.
he's phenomenal in this
So,
movie.
His
Yeah.
acting skills. I don't care about the person himself. Amazing acting.
And Michael Keaton as Batman. Oh my
Oh.
god! I actually rewatched Batman just after
so
watching that.
Good.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Michael Keaton's definitely my favorite Batman. Like Christian Bale had the better movies, and Ben Affleck had the better action scenes. But my favorite Batman is Michael Keaton.
Lego Batman is one of my my favorite Batman movie. Lego Batman is hilarious.
funny.
It's so good.
He just, I just like they just keep like trying to keep him from joining the Justice League, and they're like, oh, are you guys having a party? No.
No.
But like Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Green Lantern and Superman, yeah, we just randomly showed up here at the same time. Yeah, and you guys are all just started playing music. Like, yeah, nothing. Like it just happened. Okay. I don't know who the actor is.
The jokes in the Batman Lego movie are so fast you can't
They
even
are.
keep up with them. It's
Who's the actor who plays Lego Batman? Isn't he from
gosh, I
Arrested
don't
Development?
know.
The brother, the magic guy.
Oh, Job.
No, not the blue guy. The magic guy who's
Job,
always trying to
yeah,
magic.
Job Bluth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, what's
He's
his
the
name?
voice of. I
Starts
forgot.
with an A. It's like Arnold or Arthur or something.
By the way, the Arrested Development rewatch podcast with all the actors.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
obsessed with that podcast right now. It's so good. Anyways, we've talked enough. I think we can all agree, for any of us who've watched Indiana Jones, this is a fitting, good finale
Mhm.
to Indiana Jones.
It is. It's nice.
If Rob ever gets a chance to watch the old ones, I think he'll appreciate this movie
Did you
more.
notice at
but-
the end he literally hung his hat?
But then he
But then he
grabbed
And
it.
then he felt it up. So that
no,
means
he
there might
pulled
be-
it off.
I know.
And then, you know.
But the hat was hung, and then maybe there's more. Yeah, it was just good.
I didn't talk about my favorite like comedy scene. This is the last thing, I swear, and then we're done. My favorite scene is like when he whips it like at the table in
Whip it
Morocco.
real good.
And like they're all like, and then they all pull out guns and shoot.
That was hilarious. That was probably my
That
favorite
was
scene
good.
too.
Or
That
the
was
big,
good.
or the big. Okay, so in the original Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Oh, you
there's
haven't
this.
seen it, yeah.
It's like a giant Nazi. He looks like the Rock on steroids, and he looks a lot like this giant guy in this movie. But Indiana Jones keeps trying to fight him, and he punches him and kicks him, and the guy just smiles and just keeps smiling at him. This is not Lost Ark. I just remember.
It is
No, the
Lost Ark.
no, it's the Last Crusade.
No, it's the Lost Ark.
Is it the Lost Ark?
It's the Lost Ark.
Okay, it's the Last Ark. And then finally he's just like tired because he's been punching and kicking him so long, but the guy's so huge and muscular that like he doesn't get hurt. So he just stands there and it's like, 1 minute,
Just give me a
1
second.
minute. And the plane turns around and it's spinning the, what is it called? The propeller? No.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah, it's the propeller.
It like comes around and just cuts him into little pieces.
Oh.
Yep. And that's why I'm like, yeah, the Indiana Jones movies are dark. I'm shocked you thought they were like
No, I
normal
didn't.
humor.
I wasn't saying they
Or
weren't
normal.
dark. I was saying they weren't sad. Like I don't I remember like
Well,
Indiana
he's
Jones
80 years
crying
old
and-
with his last, I mean, you
Yeah.
want it to be sad.
I didn't hate it. I just thought it was different. I didn't think it was bad.
By the way,
One of my favorite scenes was probably the one where he's like, where does it not hurt? And she's like,
Oh,
here.
There's one
Oh,
little
that
spot that was cute.
That was so cute because he had done that in the first Indiana
I
Jones
figured,
movie.
yeah.
And
Wait, really?
Yes, he had done that because he's like, ouch, it hurts, and she's like, where does it not hurt? And he's like,
oh, that's right.
here.
She
Oh,
kisses it.
yeah.
Yeah.
She kisses him. So
I knew I was missing something.
seeing him do that. Oh my goodness, it just
Oh,
made my
I
heart
don't-
melt.
Adorable.
I really don't like Marion as a lot of people did.
Really? I
I
love
didn't-
her.
I didn't really think she was that amazing, but like it was such a fitting ending
No, I know.
that
Loki.
I loved it.
No, I agree. Well, guys, I'm really excited because we got 3 big movies left this summer.